what are we speaking into our kids? Yeah. Because if they believe that, or you're not going to be nothing. Yeah. You're not going to amount to anything. Yeah. We have to be guardians of what we say. Mm-hmm. Right. We have to make sure the source of our information is pure. Yeah. It's edifying to our children. So it's within the heart. It's in the heart of man. You can't legislate the heart.
Yeah.
One that you want to listen to. One that you want to listen to.
What's up, everybody? It's your brother and friend, Andre Worthy. I'm in the studio.
What's up? What's up, man?
Homies, what's up? Mr. Leslie, Marcus. Got my man Walter Dodd.
What's going on?
We in the house.
We in the house.
Gotta get used to this new setup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I like it, man. I'm comfortable, man.
Stretching out a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. We appreciate y'all chiming in again for another episode of the Right Mentality Podcast.
Yes, sir.
We figured we wanted to switch things up for you and everything. Just show you a more relaxed appeal. Hopefully you're enjoying the setup, like my man Marcus said, and everything.
I'm too relaxed. I'm a little comfortable.
Go to sleep.
Keep the pillow and the blanket away.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep the pillow and the blanket away. Please. Yeah. I'm excited about today's show too, though, fellas, man. Yes, sir. I know on our last episode, we were talking about definitely fatherhood, and we got to talking about that before we knew it. Time has, elapsed, and there was so much more we still wanted to bring out. So we're gonna pick that back up on today. But before we get ready to do that, we know we got to hit you with the what in the world, what they thinking? What you got for us, Mark? Come on, man. Because I know you was international, so you got some good.
Well, this one's not international. I had a couple of them, man, and both of them were stories that came across. They were funny to me, so I don't know if it's gonna be funny to y'all, everybody else. And I was trying to figure out which one to go with, man. So I think I'm gonna start with this one. All right. So listening to the radio, I forgot what I was listening to, and they were talking about this young girl that took the police on a chase. It was in Florida, right? Shout out to all my people in Florida.
There'll be some crazy stuff happening in Florida, man.
Yeah. A lot of people said that, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened in Florida. But this young lady, man, I don't know if it's a new age thing, but I'm like, what the world was she thinking? Literally. Okay. So she on the high speed chase. You know what I'm saying? I might be exaggerating a little bit, but she was on the chase. Now, was arrested, but she was stopped for a minor traffic violation. Okay. I don't know. I can't remember. It was the broken tail light, speeding a little bit.
But nothing major.
Nothing major at all. Okay. And so when they stopped her and asked her, what in the world were you thinking? Like, why you had no warrant. She didn't have no bench warrant. Wasn't nobody out for her. She didn't have no drugs on her. Nothing. Yeah. She said it was on her bucket list to get arrested by the police. When I heard that, I'm like, I didn't know if to laugh or I laughed definitely because that's some of it definitely wasn't on my bucket list in Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
Especially during these times.
It wasn't. In my time, it wasn't on my bucket list. When I was locked up, hey ma, can you come get me out? This is my bond. Yeah, it wasn't on my bucket list. It was on her bucket list, right? And I forget it might have been a Breakfast Club. Shout out to Breakfast Club. Whatever. Wow. If y'all, they were talking about it, but I'm like, yo, what, like, what's, you got old? She was like 18, 19. But I wish my son, listen, he gonna spend the night.
He's gonna learn a very valuable lesson. Absolutely,
he gonna learn today. Yeah, what y'all think about that, man? Like, listen, I had to clear my ears out to really hear. Yeah. Did I hear what I said? Did I hear what they said properly?
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
well, this show is called The Right Mentality. And unfortunately, that wasn't the right mentality, but it was something with that mentality for her to be thinking about trying to scratch this off the bucket list, getting arrested. So I don't know, again, what else is on her list. But I can tell you that right there is a little bit. That's crazy.
If that was number, I don't know if that was number one, but if that was number one, I wonder what's next. Is like snorting cocaine on the list.
Right. Prostitution. What?
Yeah.
What kind of list you got?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I'm saying my bucket list says that I want to get arrested.
Listen, that ain't a bucket list. That's a trash list.
Yeah.
Let me walk. Real dangerously. Let me see if let me walk into a police station and slap a lieutenant. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of bucket list is that? So I was like, man, let me bring this to the fellas.
Bank robbing is on the list.
Bank robbing on the list.
If you're gonna do some bucket list, you know what I mean? Yeah, just let it be something meaningful.
Straight criminal.
She
said, so now she can cross it off. Now she has a fleeing and eluding on her record. So, like, I mean, what literally. It's comical, but what?
She scratched it off her list. That's all I can say.
She scratched it off her list.
She did it. She done it.
Well, maybe it was a 2-for-1. Maybe she had get arrested get arrested and get a record. Maybe that was on there as well.
Oh, wow. I hope not, man. Yeah. Again, that's a messed up mentality to be having like that, man. And especially during these times, you don't do no stuff like that. I mean, let's say you was dealing with an officer that, you know what I'm saying, wasn't wrapped too tight. That could have got ugly, you know what I mean? So
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
it could have been a whole different situation.
Yeah.
But you know what? She scratched it off her buckets.
What in the world were you thinking? We want to know that. Man. What you think, Don?
She made it through.
She made it through, man.
Yeah. Now, can you say, let's say the officer was crazy and he drew the gun and he didn't shoot her. Can that be a testimony in church? That
I had this on my bucket list, but God turned it around.
He turned it around for me. I didn't get shot. Or let's say she didn't get arrested. You know what I'm saying? He turned it around for me.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we used to get them crazy testimonies. You know,
turned everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, we testified about toenails. Ingrown toenails and all that, man. Yeah. Don't even go down there. That should have been another. That's another what in the world. We can pull out some of them old testimonies, man. What's this other one though? You got another one though. You said
I'm gonna have to say that one though.
Oh,
we gotta say that one. I'm keep the intensity going. Y'all have to tune in to the next one. You know what? I want to do something a little different though. I want those. If you're watching this, I want you to get some suggestions on the next what in the world were they thinking.
That's awesome.
Let's do that.
And you know what? And you can do that too. And if you want, you can actually email us over at the Right Mentality Podcast at gmail.com. Again, Right Mentality Podcast. Email us if you got any ideas, any stories, anything crazy out there that you may have, heard or seen. Share it with us, man, because we need to pull the cover off of some of this stuff.
If it was personal, then we'll change the name. Well, we might not, but
we got you covered.
We got disclosure in there.
We got you covered.
I didn't have to put a disclosure this time because this was actually news. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should. The views and opinions of this.
I don't think it's just so bad. I don't think it's that bad though. I think this one right here. They already know we don't support those views right there.
So, but what can we learn from this? What in the world was she thinking?
If you're gonna create a bucket list, make sure you got the right things on there.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't drive from the police. Run from the police. No, don't do that.
Hold on, man. These views.
Make your bucket list about traveling, huh?
Listen, ain't nothing to learn from that.
No.
Don't run from the police. How about that?
No, don't run from the police.
Yeah, okay. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, we got to leave that one alone. All right, man. So anyway, man, real quick, man, I know we need to dive up into this topic, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because on our last episode, we was talking about fatherhood, and we were talking about the roles and the responsibilities of fatherhood. And I know, there's challenges, especially amongst us as African Americans, being fathers and everything. But this fatherhood role is so, so, so deep. So, as we segue into it, I just want to share a conversation I had with a good friend of mine today, matter of fact, and this kind of gave me some confirmation on what we're going to talk about. He was sharing with me some things that was going on with his son, saying that, his son is at a crossroads where he's deciding on what career he wants to go with. Son has great opportunities. He can pretty much got to pick of the litter what he wants to do. Anyhow, his car breaks down, and apparently the transmission goes out. It's an older car. And the son takes the car into the shop and come to find out that the bill to fix the car was about $2,200 with the transmission. The son works and everything, but he goes to the father and he tells his father, you know what, Dad, I just got my, I got the estimate. They're looking at about $2,200 to get my transmission fixed. Unfortunately, all your son got is $3,600. You know what I'm saying, in the bank right now. If I do this, it's going to deplete my account. You know what I mean? So again, his father, who's a great financial steward, great with finances. I mean, definitely, man, says, you know what, son, this is what's going to happen. If you can pay the toll to get it there, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the tab.
Okay.
And said, and then the father shares with me that his son is just like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So immediately when I thought about that, man, you know, and you know me, I tell you, I didn't have a blueprint in terms of fatherhood.
Right.
I had a blueprint on what not to do. I'll take that back.
Right.
But as it relates to God, the Father, and understanding his role, I said, you know what, man, I bet you a lot of times that's exactly how it is with God. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing, you know what I'm saying, what we need to do. We got all of these promises and these opportunities that, you know, we can go down this direction and we can run a clothing company. We can go down this direction and we can put desserts out there and be in multiple stores. And we got all of these gifts that God has blessed us with and everything. You know what I mean? And then we hit a situation or we hit a circumstance, and when we think it's just us in the circumstance, you know what I mean? We go to the Father, we're honest, this is the situation, and then the Father comes around like, oh, you know what? Let me do my job. I got you, son. I see you trying. I see you doing what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, make sure you get that deal. Let me make sure you go ahead and, secure that, you know what I'm saying, that business or, you know what I mean, all of these different things. And I said, man, that's so awesome that we can look at our relationships as fathers and with having sons or having daughters at the same point in time and get an idea on what God looks like.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So today, you know, looking at our topic and talking about fatherhood and everything, we already know there's some challenges going on with fatherhood. Fatherhood is not easy, man.
Yes, sir.
So with that being the case, fellas, talk to me, man, as it comes when it comes to the challenges that you know, as fathers, you know what I mean, we face.
Right. I mean, where do you start? I mean, like you said, we talked last a few weeks ago when we recorded about fatherhood and just, you know, kind of went down that rabbit hole, right? The challenges that we have individually, corporately, the myths that are out there in regards to fathers not being present, especially in the African American community, right? You know, I think I shared even the fact one of my pet peeves is when someone's like, you know, oh, you babysitting your kid. I mean, that just it grinds my gears because there's an undertone, right? You know, to that comment, whether it's intentional or not. Right. So it's funny that you mentioned the conversation that you had today. I just saw a friend of mine post and said, and I'm paraphrasing, that fathers are some of the most disrespected people on this earth. He said, and I quote again in my own words, he stated that if women had to deal with what we had to deal with as fathers, he questions would they be able to handle it in the aspect of fatherhood versus motherhood, right?
Yeah, right.
There shouldn't be a competition. We should be able to work together. And I think he's speaking from the fact of, you know, the realm of even not being married to the mother of the child. That's a whole other dynamic, right?
Sir.
So there are a lot of challenges that we face. What I do know is there's not a challenge that we can't overcome if we choose to fight the fight. You know, I might be alone. It's a marathon, right? Yeah. You talked about not having that role model, and I remember my dad always saying my granddad was present, but he wasn't the role model that he wanted. He married several times. My grandfather, my dad said I will only have one wife, right? So he took the role that he saw and he amplified it, and I'm doing the same thing. So I think one of the biggest fights that we have as fathers, right? Let's talk about that, and then we can deal with how to overcome that battle, right? Is and again, speaking, so you have fathers, and then you have black fathers, right? And we are all black men, and I don't want to dance around that topic, right? Is that it is stated that fathers don't play the massive role in the child's life, especially black fathers. Just had a conversation with my kid's principal about needing more males present. He said he know we're here because he see us picking up the kids.
Right.
Like when I go to the school, we talked about this. You know, I think last podcast, and me and him talked. Like when we go to the school, I see around 3 o'clock, if we on FaceTime, everybody's going to get the kids.
Right.
Myself, Dad, Worthy. So we're present, but yet we have a narrative out there that's stating that we're not present, especially in our community. And I think that's one of the biggest battles. Not just the narrative, but when we believe a narrative that's not true. Right. And I want to talk about that a little bit more on today, and how we actually overcome that narrative. That's my spirit. What you think?
Doc, I think that's a good approach. Because the challenges are there, but I think, like I said, the myth of black fathers, and like I said, we know that's a myth just from our little circle. You know what I mean? And so it's about a perception. Right. And what fosters that perception? Where is that coming from? We talked about the example that God gives, but I also think for those that don't believe in the devil or the wickedness, those influences are there to destroy, to disassemble, to put those
blinders almost on. That you don't see.
But the information. I was talking to a coworker today after work this morning, and I think I might have mentioned it before. We really have to be careful where we get our information from, the source of it, because you can get bad information. And it could lead you into a rabbit hole of, black fathers exist. They're not present. And you start to start believing it.
Right.
And the power of belief,
that's good.
It is crazy to me, because when somebody really believes something, man, it's hard to change their perception on that. You figure and I'm just using an example, this big lie. I mean, these people have really hunkered down in that. They believe it. And that's it's so much in that, even dealing with fathers. What are we speaking into our kids? Because if they believe that, you're not going to be nothing. You're not going to amount to anything. We have to be guardians of what we say. We have to make sure the source of our information is pure. It's edifying to our children. So all those dynamics are to me challenges as well of what we're pouring in, how we're combating that narrative of black fathers, and what can we do. And that's one thing, and I'll pass it back. One thing that I wanted to do with our podcast is, I don't want to have a podcast where we're just talking.
Right.
Because everybody's talking.
That's right.
But I wanted to have and be a part of a podcast that offers solutions. Offers hope and gives that blueprint on what we can do to be better.
I'm sorry, Marcus. Go ahead, man. Because I was going to ask, what can we do? You're talking about this solution thing, you know what I mean? And like you said, if you listen to the masses, they'll definitely say that, you know what I mean? Again, fatherhood, you know what I'm saying, is jacked up. And, a lot of the issues that our children are having is due to the lack of a father in the house and everything. And truthfully, it is, you know what I mean? The father does, you know what I'm saying, call the shots and, is that first example. But what do we do? And how do we tackle that? Because again, for those out there that are listening to what you talk about, you know what I mean, whether it's the Dr. Phil's on TV, you know what I'm saying, and you got the TV on, or you're listening to the media and CNN is talking about the numbers and everything. How, you know what I'm saying, what can you do? Because it seems like it's an overwhelming task. Like you just said, if the women knew exactly what we go through as men, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost. And then on top of that, you bringing in fatherhood and you're bringing in being a, provider and everything else. There's a lot of roles that we do carry.
Right.
So
what I want to jump in and say and change that statement, what can we do to what are we doing?
Okay.
Right. So to offer practical examples based upon what we're doing and with the fathers that we have in our circle. Right. I have friends that are married to the mother of children. I have friends that are not. And all of them, I think about 5 fathers that I know that are in my circle that are not married to the children of their to the mother of their children, right? And are phenomenal fathers. Yeah. One cat I know, man, before they relocated to the same state he's at, would drive back for the first day of school from the ATL for soccer. Yeah. I mean, he would drive back multiple times. Yeah. Back to the state of Michigan, right? Was present for everything, and he always talked about not letting an excuse or making an excuse stop you from being present in that child, even if you are not on good terms with the mother. And so, what are some?
But see, that's a challenge though, right there in itself. But go ahead.
Man. Yeah, but it's a challenge. You can't. This is the advice I used to give to some of my friends that are going through those situations. You can't do anything about that person, but you can do everything about you.
Understood.
Right. So whether it's the issue of her not sending clothes over to the house and keeping this and doing that, your responsibility is for you to be the father to that son, to that daughter, and you exhaust every option. And when you exhaust every option, then you do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even if she's trying to manipulate and poison, I'm speaking to certain scenarios. It's not every scenario. Your job is to still be the father that you're called to be. Right? It's not because I've ran into cats that said, "Well, I done all I can do, so whatever. I'll try again in 5 years." Yeah. No. You keep trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That because you kept trying when you were trying to get in between them legs.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
No,
if you got kids, put them away because we're gonna get a little gully. Right. You didn't have to think about. You know what I'm saying? Right. Turn off the lights, light a candle. You was all when it was time to get to getting.
Yeah.
Oh, she was everything.
Yeah.
And you would do everything that you would get off of work, not sleep, and you will wait up for her, right? So take that same energy, right, and apply that to being the father that you know that you can be, in spite of. If that means going to court, So that's my 2 cents. But give an example. I know we are all present in our kids' life, in different, but we can speak to our experience and what we're doing, and the difficulties that we face. And also to what people we know in our lives that we see them accomplishing.
Yeah, I appreciate you on that, man. I think the challenge, what I'm saying, what you're talking about again, is you do what you're able to do and you continue to do it. I think that sometimes it does exhaust a lot of men. Especially when you're dealing with, like you said, the mother of the children, and you may not necessarily be on the best terms. She may be bitter. You know what I'm saying? You may be bitter. Who knows the case. Right. But now the kids are, in the middle of this, and you want to spend time with the kids and all this, but now, she ain't communicating what you're saying, or, you're sending resources, but she's not using the resources on what you're, So I think a lot of times, men get exhausted and they get, fed up. And sometimes it's hard to not put a face with the situation. It's like, It's like you're the mother of the child. You ain't going to bat for me, or what are you telling the children about me? Or, all of these different intangibles that a lot of men go through and everything, man. But in terms of us being there, I think we do the best we can. But I'm going to speak for me personally, man, there's so much more I can do.
Right.
So much more I can do.
Right.
In terms of, I've always told y'all, if you invited me in to speak to somebody, chances is I can relate to the unfathered. I can relate to, the individual that was incarcerated. I can relate to a lot of people, because of things that I went through. But if you talk about what it is to go to a 4-year university and graduate, and staying up late and studying all that, I couldn't possibly tell you what that's about. You know what I mean? So in terms of raising my kids, I can raise my kids to a certain degree, certain level, but in order to take them to the next level, it requires me to either, like you said, expose myself to men that, fathers that are there already and, and are, introducing their children, to something new and on that next level, or it's going to cause me to die to myself, and have to be willing to grow. And we learn together and we experience these things together. But either way, I just still know that no matter what, you got to work. You're going to have to put in something. Right. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean.
Yeah, because, and relax, because I like to keep it simple. And I think sometimes our expectations are up there. And I think I talked about it in the last podcast is I think, from looking at you brothers, what I deem a successful father, the proof is in the kids.
Right.
when I see you brothers around your kids and their interaction with you, running up to you, hugging you, kissing on you, to me, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
You've demonstrated love to that child. Yeah. That's what being a father
That's good,
is,
bro.
because we can have all these other things that we think that's on our bucket list, so to speak, of what makes us good fathers. Yeah. But if we can just, when we talk about the father, what makes God a great father is God is love.
And he's consistent.
Right?
Yeah.
He loves us in spite of where we at.
Come on, bro.
And he's present.
Yeah.
Very present help.
At a time of need.
And so I think if we can just cover that base.
Yeah.
Just love your kids.
But see, that goes back to what I was talking about. Like, you can get everything, the blueprint from him. Like, I mean, the revelation, I think we as men receive in terms of this thing called fatherhood should not only just be a revelation that should be interpreted from the natural standpoint, but even interpreted from the supernatural standpoint. Because again, God, you know what I'm saying, is our father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, if he's put me in a position to be a father, you know what I mean, and he's already the father, you know what I mean, then there's certain attributes and certain characteristics and things that he does that I may do that mirrors him.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why I continue to push back on I can only take my son so far because I've never been to college.
Yeah.
Because I always say, I tell husbands, be the husband that God called you to be. He designed you to be that.
Yeah.
So if he knew you was going to be a father, then he already got you taken care of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So and popped in my head, perfect example, right? My pops, man. He don't have no college education. He went to high school. Shit, my mom's. Like, she grew up on a farm in Arkansas where granddad will pull them off out of school to work in the cotton field.
Farm. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, to work. And so, like, it's funny, we would be like, oh, mom, it's not Ara, it's R. You know what I'm saying? As growing up as a kid, you know what I'm saying? But yet, you got 5 college graduates. There's 5 of us.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
My dad,
he started a whole new, you know what I'm saying?
But listen to what I'm saying though. My dad, he would every summer. We stayed in the library. He didn't know nothing, but he knew what he knew to do was go find information before there was a Google, before there was anything. And so he guided us. Yeah. Because that's what God does. I always tell people.
But again, where he guided you, was that uncomfortable for him? Because you said he didn't go to college.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But my point is, you don't have to experience the thing you're trying to guide your child to.
To some degree, you do.
No. But in the context that we're talking about, a 12th grade education, right? My mom barely, and it's not knocking my parents, right?
Not at all,
right? But what I'm saying in the context to what you're talking about. You don't have to experience the thing that you're guiding your child to, right?
My access to it.
You give them access.
But I guess
to
the experience is in the access. So again, if I'm in a library, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't normally been a guy of books, you know what I'm saying. This is this is someplace I've never been before. So we're experiencing this together. I'm walking. You're gonna pick the book up. You're gonna read the book. But again, you're laying a foundation in them that. When you open the book, chances is this book is going to take you on a journey. You're going to start learning. You're going to start interpreting things. You're going to start receiving knowledge. And then it sets the ground for the college and the further education because you're already getting them in the practice of educating themselves and learning and all of these different things. So I think he was a trailblazer in a sense.
Yeah, you take them to what you have experienced. Perfect example. One of my points today was we talked about offering tips, right? How do you become a better father? How do you become the father that, I guess you could say, I don't think there's a perfect father, right? But the father that you want to be, you center yourself around people of like mind and those who have conquered or excel in the area of fatherhood that you want to. So what my dad lacked, right, what my mom lacked, they put us around people. My auntie was a registered nurse, graduated from college in regards to that, and then teacher. She retired as a Detroit public school teacher. And so my auntie would take us across the state of Michigan to Canada. She sent all of us to the Black College Tour, right? Very educated. She was a scholar. She pushed us. She's my great auntie, so my dad's auntie, right? And she exposed us And I used to think as a child, right, like, I mean, oh, my auntie, boom, 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 boom. But I remember hearing my auntie say, because, my dad, he'll say this, he was considered to be the black sheep, right? And then people looked down on him because, his brothers went to college. Right, a couple of them did whatever. But my auntie said, your parents did an excellent job.
And
right?
And that's what I'm honing in on, because if you think being a good parent or a good father is to, my kids became a doctor, or my kids became, when they realize they've been loved, that's it. Everything else is bonus to me. Everything else is because my kid may not become a lawyer, a doctor. He may be a janitor. He may be this. But to have that self-worth that he's been loved, and that love, when you're loved, love is the motivation. You can do whatever, everything. It's wide open once you have that foundation that you've been loved. And what happens is, because of we as fathers, we try to give them opportunities. Even though I haven't been to school, even though I haven't been this, but because I love them and I see those things, and you're attentive to what they
love seeks to promote,
right? And so I don't want to give the narrative that because your kid didn't go to college, he was a bad father, or because they're not Fortune 500. As long as their character. Those things of value that you're pouring into them, that holds. And we talked about that on other podcasts, having a balance and having the right things put within them. Because once you put that seed in them, we don't know what God has put in them. But our job,
a child in the way they should go.
And when they order, they're showing out the part.
Not the way we think they should go.
That could happen.
Because love, as you were talking, I thought about this. Love is actually pushing them to their purpose. Right, and we got to know what their purpose is to push them towards that. And then love is also knowing my limitations as a father. When it's time for me to say, hey, you know what, Worthy, I can't take my son into this fashion world. Because that's not me.
That's right.
And so, because some fathers are so prideful, they like, I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Love is saying, hey, you know what? Hey, I need you to take my son to this next level. I can't do it. I don't even have the patience for that.
See, I love what you said, bro, because I promise you, this thing is so deep, man, because there's so much to it. So I'm talking with someone, and they're telling me, okay, so Worthy, man, you know what, man, you got the brand going and everything. You should get into, mentorship. First thing come on my mind is, I don't think I'm the right guy for mentorship.
And I would totally disagree.
No. Let me explain.
All right, go ahead.
Let me explain. First and foremost, mentorship requires you to take time. You invest in someone. You're with them through the ups. You're with them through the downs. I don't have that level of commitment within myself. So I told them, I said, I'll be great for someone to come in and maybe be a speaker, an evangelist, or, something along the line to share my story. But for the long haul, I couldn't do it.
Got you.
I don't have it in me to do it for the long haul. So when you talk about taking someone to someone that can help you, there are people that are gifted that do have the patience to, see someone through a process, whether it's healing or whether it's, whatever the case. So we need to be able to take these, our, like you said, someone that can help them to get there. I know my lane.
But you are a mentor.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
The description that I think you're trying to is what we see out there in society of being a mentorship. But you're already a mentor to your children.
Yeah.
You're guiding them.
Yeah.
You're putting information into them. You're being an example for them. Yeah. That's all a mentor is. If somebody wanted to say, because I would send my son, if I couldn't do, I would say, just hang around him.
I appreciate it in terms of whatever my lane is, in terms of whether they're, you know what I'm saying? But at the same token, like you said, I'm not a mentor.
You're about to sign them up for a whole year.
Yeah, brother. And then I got to put this out there because, again, like I said, I'm just talking about myself, and I got to look at myself here. Even as it relates to my children. Like, and I think I said it before, there was a time that when I walked in the house, you know what I'm saying, kids run directly to me, daddy, 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 on my knees, everything. I can tell them something. We're going to Quiet Dairy. We're going to Quiet Dairy. We're going to Disney World. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was Batman. Mm-hmm. I was Superman. I could do no wrong.
You can't be both of them, though, brother. You got to be.
Yes,
okay,
Batman
I'm going to take Batman, though, because Batman can take Batman deal with them all. Batman deal with them all. He the only superhero, ladies and gentlemen, that is a human. We'll leave that alone. Everybody else got superpowers. Batman uses brain. But anyhow, I say that to say is that there was a season where I was Batman. Mm-hmm. But as my kids matured,
right,
they begin to recognize that Batman is also Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. And Bruce Wayne got some issues, and there's some areas that Bruce Wayne ain't always, you know what I'm saying, looking the part.
Right, right.
So now I'm at the place now where my children, you know what I'm saying, I tell people all the time, they can either be like Noah's sons, and they can come in and they can cover my imperfections, mm-hmm. or they can come in like the one son and they can expose those imperfections. Right. So I just say in terms of being a father, you got to take the good with the bad. 100%. I'm not always going to be on point. I'm not always going to say it in a way that you're going to think I'm going to say it. I'm not always going to be there for you, whether you think it or not.
And that, I mean, I promise you, like my phone is that perfection is not required to be a father. Right?
That's a shirt.
That's
a T-shirt.
Hey, don't y'all take that? Professional, like real talk.
That's a shirt.
Like it's not required, and I think a lot of times, especially those who are perfectionists, and we execute at a high level, we seek perfection in what we do, right? Which can be then a hindrance, right? And so I just want to shout out to all the fathers, like that you try, like especially at that age that you're talking about, before, when they saw you as just Batman, like relishing that. Your kids, somebody told me, man, like, you know, the time that you're with your children, make that time that you're with them. Yeah. That's why a lot of times you've got iPhone, you see do not disturb on, because I'm with them. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if it's 15 minutes, let me give them that 15 minutes of hard quality time. Let me sit down and talk. I heard something on the radio. I was watching something on social media, and this one guy was talking about his experience with his dad and what he missed. He said it was like 3 of them. And when his dad, he would pick a child every night, and he would get in the bed with them, lay there, and talk to them about their day and fall asleep with them. Every night he would do that with them. He said sometimes, I wasn't a perfect child. Sometimes I was a real mean child. He said, but what I remember, and sometimes I was a great child. He said, but what I remember is that my dad was always there. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so a lot of times we're trying to, I can't take him to Disney World. Yeah. Well, I can't. Who told, I heard E.T. say, who told you that was the standard? Right. Who told you the standard was
going back?
Who told you the standard was even being able to be at every, and I'm talking to myself, right? Because I want to be at every event. I want to be at, but who told you that was the standard?
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So perfection is not required. Yeah. But being present, I promise you, like the hug that you know them hugs at 9 years old, at 8 years old, at 7 years old that you get from your kid, and just a simple picking up your daughter and taking her to the bedroom, right? And when she wants you, instead of saying you're tired, right? To me, that's the perfect father.
That's it. Right. That's it. I agree.
Right. That's the perfect father. I was listening to something, they were talking about, just how fathers weren't in the household, welfare, etc. A lot of different meals. But one thing the woman said, she said she used to watch TV to get a glimpse of. She used to idolize the white communty because she saw fathers in the community. And
they did a good job on that. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right. And but what I'm saying is, while we're beating ourselves up as fathers, while we worried, if you're worried about the baby mamas or the in-laws don't like you, all your kids is worried about. Is Batman.
Yeah. But what happens, though, when all of those things influence those kids?
Yeah, but see, all you can do
is do what you're able to do.
Do what you're able to do. And at the end of the day, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, because here's the thing, they didn't ask to come into this world. I mean, this is how I look at it. Right? I made a choice. Yeah. And that choice was go ahead and, get my groove on, right? And then there was a baby that was birthed into this world. Yeah. So everything after that, I had to deal with. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so hopefully at the end of this time frame, because there was this stuff that I said to my dad, man, thinking I was grown, man, and had to go back and apologize. He had to apologize to me. Yeah. Right. There's things that there was no true manual. There are manuals out there. There's no true manual. Yeah. Right. But at 20, whatever the age was, hey, Dad, man, you know what? I didn't understand it, but I understand it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
Maturity.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about, maturity. And my oldest son, he's Jalen, he's 24.
That's what's up.
And one Father's Day, he sent me a text, and we're talking about maturity and things. But he had stressed in the text that he had appreciated the things that I was attempting to pour into him when he was younger, when it seemed like he wasn't, down with that.
Yeah.
But he said, as I've gotten older, train up a child.
Yeah.
Our job is to be consistent in pouring in those right things.
Yeah.
And leave the outcome to God.
Yeah.
But you have to be there to pour into them and to nurture that seed.
Yeah.
And you may be expecting an apple tree, but they may be an orange tree.
Yeah.
But they're going to be producing something that is beneficial to themselves and to society as a whole. And I think that's what we should be focused on, is making sure. Instead of doing these artificial standards and things that and pushing back on those narratives, whether the this race or that race is better
or superior. Yeah.
Listen, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Reason that's a lie is because we're all human.
That's right.
No, it's only one race, the human race. There's no this. There's been factors that have taken the black father out on purpose.
Yeah.
It was strategized for that.
Yes, sir.
But that's not the narrative. And what we do, and I'm glad we can have those examples.
Yeah.
And I think that's what when they see us at the school.
Yeah.
That we're challenging that narrative.
Absolutely.
They see us at the games and things. We're challenging that narrative, and we're not making excuses. Like your friend, you do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do, boss.
To be there, regardless of the obstacle, because love is the motivator. And because I love, love covers a multitude of faults. And so because I love that child, I'm not going to let anything stand in the way for me being there.
That's right.
Right? So I'll do whatever I have to do within my power, within my means to be there and let them see the Bruce Wayne. I'm human.
That's right.
But I love you.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes, but I love you. And once they get that lesson, and they know they're not looking for perfection.
And I love what y'all saying here because, again, you guys are providing solutions. First and foremost, Marcus, you're talking about, again, prepare for the long haul.
It's a marathon, baby.
You said it. It's a marathon. We want these quick wins, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you may get a quick win, you know what I mean? But sometimes you're going to have to be in it for the long haul. So be ready for the long haul. Remain consistent. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to love on that child. Continue, you know what I'm saying, to do what you're able to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then you're over there talking about, again, the narratives. You know what I'm saying? Like, duh, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not rocket scientists or, you know what I'm saying, it ain't a surprise to know that this plot has been already put in place, you know what I'm saying, way back generations before generations. And this thing is just so deeply rooted that it just continues to filter through the next generation until we get in there and we do some pruning and we get in there and uproot some stuff and start dealing with some issues. And that causes us to get dirty. You know what I mean? So again, all of those are solutions, what y'all talking about.
All the solutions. The same effort that we put into to holler at Shorty. You know
I love it. I love it.
No, I mean, like, can I get your number?
Yeah.
Oh, let me take you on this day. You know, you on the phone late at night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You texting. If she was good when she was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The same effort that you stood in line for the PS4. I don't know. 'Cause I don't, you know what I'm saying? The Jordans, or the same effort that you put into getting the job.
Yeah.
Right. You typed up the resume. You did all this type of. You did all these things. Right.
Yeah. Right.
But you mean to tell me that you can't put that same intensity and forget? I don't listen. And I know some people like, you ain't never experienced. You're right. I ain't experienced it. That's real talk. So maybe I'm speaking from a space, but I have people that experience it, and I hope one day we can have some of our people on here that can really talk about it, right? But what I know is that, and one of my homies told me, he said, one thing you ain't. He said, man, he was real. He said, man, I was for a boyfriend or for a husband.
Yeah.
He said, but one thing you can't tell me nothing about being a jacked up daddy. He said, because I'm present in all my kids' life. Yeah. You know, you had the baby mama that would keep the clothes and wouldn't use the money for what he thought was intended purpose. I used to tell him, I was like, bro, listen, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, your child is going to say, because I ain't going over no more. Your child going to be like, I didn't see you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, on the flip side, let's shout out some of the mothers, though, because I had some friends who would protect their kids, right? The baby daddy would be like, yo, I'm coming to pick you up. And they sit on the porch, feet dangling. And she would never badmouth the dad. Yeah. Like, dad got busy. You know, he got caught. That's a
special type of woman.
Listen, because I can't say I would have that same. I would protect. I would protect my children. Kathy, if you ever didn't, I'm just playing. But we have to. You said it. Stop making excuses, right? The tips we want to leave you with today is, again, perfection is not required to be a father.
I love that, bro.
And that love. Love them enough to keep showing up. I don't care if it's in the distance. They like, I saw it. Yep, that was me. But there's so many ways that you can contact your kids now. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got to chalk it up, buy them a cell phone, pay for it, even though there's a house phone at the crib and mama got a cell phone. Do what you need to do. Right. The same intensity, bro. And I think that's what we need to continue to show up, instead of when your homie is coming to you. I'm talking to somebody, right? Yeah. When your homie come and holler at you, like, man, shorty's tripping. Hey, tell him I don't want to hear that, boss. Y'all ain't together. So what you gonna do? She got another man around my kids. So what?
Yeah, right. You gave that right up when you left. You gave that right up when y'all broke up.
Don't co-sign that.
Yep.
Don't vice versa. Don't co-sign. You got some fellas out there. They'll be, man, she tripping. No, we need to be saying, listen, it ain't about her. Yeah. It's about that child. Yeah. And you need to be there, regardless. Yeah. And once you have a child, it's no longer about you anyway.
That's right. It's about the child.
Come on, man. It's no longer about you. It's about you making sure that child has everything. That's what being a father. I need to supply for that child. Yeah. I need to care for that child, regardless if I'm aching, got a headache, or whatever. Right. And we have to do and not consider. That's the example.
That's the example right there.
That you don't consider yourself.
Yeah.
You put that child before your own needs.
Come on, man.
Yeah. That's a perfect father. Yeah. That's a father that loves and said, listen, I'm willing to sacrifice the pain, the sleep, the whatever I have to do so that child knows that it's love. Yeah. And he knows it's love by being cared for. Whatever that looks like in whatever their social economical status, make sure that's demonstrated. And that's what to me makes a good. Make sure you're demonstrating that you care.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And not to go dark, man, but let's talk about this, bro. Even though we record this and y'all gonna see this like a couple weeks later, right? We had something tragic just happen in Texas. Right. And honestly, I didn't find out until like the day later. Wow. Like, because we're grinding, right? To see those lives, I think over 19 elementary school, right? Teachers that were covering these babies, right? And I bring that up to say, as a father, right? I don't have time to waste that energy on what somebody else ain't doing, because here's the real, right? Whether it's my children, whether it's my spouse, whether it's my mom, my daddy, I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. None of us know that.
No, we don't.
And so I don't have the time to waste that energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That man, it was one child that survived, man. And I mean, literally, I was in tears.
Oh, the one that covered herself in the blood.
Covered herself in blood. And laid next to her friend who was in the process of dying. To look like I don't know where she got the wherewithal to do that, so the shooter wouldn't shoot her.
Right.
Like to think about that. Like, even though she's alive, but now she has a lifetime of trauma that she's gonna have to deal with.
Oh man, yeah.
So I don't have the time to worry about, even if we married, even if our spouses are getting on our nerves, which that never happens. Let me make that clear. Kathleen Leslie never gets on my nerves at all. I get on her nerves a lot, probably. But to worry about that and let your children see that I should be putting as much love, like Di said, into it, because I never know.
You never know the time.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I guarantee you, no matter what time that God allows us, if we put into that love and that care, that'll hold them.
That'll hold them, man.
Regardless of whether we're here or not.
That's good, bro.
Because that love, the Bible says, love is stronger than death.
Yeah.
And so, but that situation out there in Texas, and we're praying for those families, praying for this country, because I mean, it's insane what's happening, and you deal with not only that in Texas, Buffalo, and others where, again, I talked about knowing the source of your information. That young man in Buffalo had believed in that replacement theory. Where was his father? Where was his parents at in that situation? But once he believed it, you see how he carried it out. Because once you believe
something,
and so you have to we talked about that in another podcast of valuing the time that you have. And we don't have a lot of time to be wasting on not being present, not being do what you could do while you have the time. Work while it's day.
Right, because the night cometh, no man can.
You can't. And so don't get so pulled into those narratives of the baby's mama's not doing this and doing that. We have to really be laser focused and dedicated on being good fathers and being present and not allow society, not allow bad influences to pull us away from being a father. You have to be responsible.
You know something again, brother.
10 minutes.
10 minutes? This again is so good, bro. I promise you, because all I keep seeing and hearing is God's voice in all of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, again, he didn't give up on us.
Come on.
What did he have to go through in order, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about the blood that was spilled and shed on our behalf. You know what I'm saying? He had a relentless approach as it came, you know what I'm saying? And he had every right, you know what I'm saying? Because of what took place. Like, you know what? I could wash my hands and start over if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, per se. But he pursued us. You know what I mean? He's pursuing us still. He's pursuing his people today. To this day, he's still, you know what I'm saying, you know, trying to compel the hearts and trying to, you know, like you said, the love and letting people know how much he loves them. So you're right about that and having that approach towards our kids. And I think when you have that mindset, whether the mother or whatever, you know what I'm saying, is giving you a hard time, it's going to come to the point where you're going to exhaust that out.
Right.
You know, because that love is so rich and it's so, you know, powerful. It's to the point where, you know what, I might as well go and let this man see these kids.
Right.
I might as well go ahead and let this man go ahead and do what he said he want to do for these kids.
And I know someone that happened to.
Wow.
You know, literally, he was like, bro, you won't believe it. I got to see my son. I got to see my son. And it's been a year of him now being able to see his son. Well, for a couple of years not being able to see. And he was like, man, bro, forget. I'm like, bro, no, you can't. You can't. We talked to lawyers, the free lawyers that they have available. Boom. We exhausted every option. And once it was exhausted, we did it. I walked alongside with him with it.
Wow.
I didn't allow him to. I mean, because let me be clear. That's the hard situation to go through. Especially if you're in a position where you can't see your own your name.
Your seed. That's your seed.
You know, but it's something that you said though, like, you know, especially for us as believers, right? Right. If you believe, you know, the scripture that we grew up quoting, you know, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Now, I don't think it says that he gave us a gift based upon what we do.
No.
Or gave, you know, he gave his gift if we decided we was going to go to church today. It does it say that? Okay.
No,
so,
I don't know what translation that is.
Right. So especially us as men who believe, my gift should not be contingent based upon what she do.
Right.
And let me fit the script. We talk about father, but it should not be dependent upon what he do, ladies, right?
Right.
But it should be based upon the love I have in my heart. He gave us a gift made available to everybody. Now, everybody's not going to take it. Right. But it's available to everybody.
That's right.
Right. Whether you want it or not, it's there
That's
for
on
you.
Right.
Yeah.
With the agape, right? With no conditions attached to it.
Right.
Absolutely.
In spite of, right? And so I think if we model as fathers, you know, and I think even if you don't believe, right, you still have that model. Right? Because at the end of the day, this is what I want to say at 18 years from now, 20 years from now, is that my kids can say, yeah, Dad didn't make all the right decisions.
Come on, man.
But he's my
man.
dad.
Right.
Come on.
I can say that about my father.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't make all the right decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
But that man got my back.
Come on, man.
Like real talk.
Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't want another father in this world.
Yeah.
Right. We had. I would call our home sometime when I moved out, and I would hang up the phone if he answered the phone. But this same man, I call him, just ask him advice about this or that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, I love it.
Right.
Yeah. So while I can't speak from a place of not having a father at home, but having someone at home who I thought didn't understand me.
Yeah.
Right. I was ready to throw blows.
Yeah.
I was crazy, man. Like
yeah,
my dad was big.
Oh, yeah. We heard the
is.
stories, man. I'm surprised, but I heard the stories. Yeah.
That's proof. That's proof that at your age, and you're calling your father, who is, quote, uneducated. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't say he was uneducated, Dad.
Sorry, Mr. Lefty.
I was trying to kick him over there.
But you don't have to be. That's
by the world standard.
Yeah, by the world.
Good,
he was educated in other ways.
So good,
my father from Belzoni, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I mean, if you blink through that city, picking cotton, all of that stuff, and didn't have the example. When you talk about, well, I haven't been to college, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
You haven't been there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I stepped foot on it. Stepped foot on it. I just figured out it wasn't for me.
But my dad didn't go to college, but once he was a supervisor for General Motors and stuff, he went back to school.
Oh, yeah.
And got his degree. But growing up, he didn't have no degree.
Right.
But he was able to put love in us.
Yeah.
And that's what got us. Love's going to carry you through.
Yeah.
Whether you have all the other things in life, but love got you. That love your father showed you, that's why you're calling him back. Because if he didn't love you, he wouldn't be calling him, asking. So that love is what we should be.
An application.
That's good, bro.
Application.
That's good. How we looking, Josh? 5
yeah.
minutes? That's good, bro.
Y'all know we can go.
Yeah, man.
We can go. Man, this is a conversation that just has to happen more often than not, man. Like, I really, believe that there are a lot of fathers out there suffering, right, because they believe that they don't have it all together.
Or they don't financially.
Come on, that's a whole nother standard, right?
Yeah.
And they have it tough, man. For whatever reason, and so they need to know that, you ain't got to be perfect to be a father, right? We're gonna have to get. We're gonna have to. You gonna have to get that. You don't have to be perfect, man.
Yeah, that's a dope shirt. I'm serious.
And the statistics, again, the myth is broken here. We said this on the last podcast.
Right.
We have 4 fathers in here.
Right here.
Right. Who are present and married to the mother of our children. Right. And I know each one of these men. Right. And I just saw Josh out and about, man. He with the family, the kid, boom, the kids hanging off of him, Alicia over there, you know what I'm saying? Down to doing the fashion shows, your wife right there on your arm. Man, you got your whole family involved, man. This is the trend. This is not a myth.
Right.
Well, not a trend, I should say. This is the standard.
It's the standard.
And we're showing you. And so our tip, like you said, we leave them with that, bro, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that love. And profession is not required, man.
It's not required. And give credit all to God.
Yeah.
Because without him and without his guidance and instructions, where would we be?
Where will we
Facts.
be?
Where would we be as fathers? Because if you're not connected first with him, your vertical, you won't have a horizontal relationship. Because I was listening to Pastor A.K. Bernard, did a little clip, and he was on this news. He was talking about that shooting in Texas. And he said, when you don't have that loving connection with God, you have self-hate. And the reason why these people are carrying out these heinous acts of violence is self-hate. And to me, will never. I'm a kingdom man. Mm-hmm. You will never experience that type of behavior in the kingdom, because once you have been connected with God,
it ain't even part of the it ain't even part of the decree.
What you're seeing is out there is a disconnect.
That's right.
And I want to tell everybody the reason that will keep happening.
Yeah.
Because this world and this culture has been disconnected.
Flat out.
Period.
Flat out.
From God. Because God is love.
Yeah.
And you won't.
That's right.
If you got love in your heart.
That's right.
You're not going to carry out those things.
That's right. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering. Love is all of those things.
It's all of that. Yeah. But when you don't have it.
Yeah.
And what's sad to see is I listen to all the newscasters. One more minute. And how are we going to stop this? How is this going to end? You can't.
Right.
Because it's within the heart. It's in the heart of man. You can't legislate the heart.
Yeah, that's good.
Only God can change that. So, and I'll let you close it out.
Ooh, that boy, hold on, brother. That brother said you can't legislate the heart. Man, on that note, we gonna shut it down. We appreciate y'all chiming in on this episode, man. Man, again, man, thank you, Marcus, man. Thank you, Walter, man, sharing y'all expertise, man. Thank you. Shout out again to Risky Studios. Thank you so much for having us. Again, make sure y'all got the right mentality. And we'll catch y'all on the next episode.
I'll let you.